All right, so let me tell you a story. Yesterday, I had 3 new patients come in, all with lower back pain. It was a bit interesting. I hadn't had one of those for a little while. All of them had had lower back pain for an extended period of time, quite a while, and all of them had seen lots of other therapists before. So in my experience, this is the time when the pressure's on, because they've come to see me, they've heard great things about our clinic here, and their expectation is I'm going to do something different to help them. So the issue with that, in what we find, is that we need to really deliver in terms of trying to show that we're obviously different, we're going to do something different, and we've got to get some serious buy-in with this patient because they've had a lot of experience with other practitioners. They've had probably a lot of other things done, a lot of the most common things, probably done to try and help them, and it obviously hasn't worked. So this is where what I had to do was go in with what I call a wow assessment, right? And what that means is it's not anything to try and, trick someone. It's not about trying to confuse them or anything like that, but it's really about trying to go above and beyond and really try to show, some important differences in terms of what might be going on, or really trying to dig a little bit deeper. And interestingly, with a lot of these lower back pain patients that I had yesterday, it was all about going for objective assessment, because with objective assessment, such as the assessments that we use with the mat, particularly with these individuals, looking at their range of motion, in terms of their spinal range of motion, using the mat to assess that in all 3 planes of motion, so sagittal plane, frontal plane, transverse plane, as well as doing some strength testing to really look at side-to-side strength. What we found was big discrepancies and big limitations, right? Things that they hadn't experienced before. So what I was able to demonstrate with these new patients that I had was that there were some serious findings that were probably big contributors to some of their lower back pain. Now, the thing that set me up for was I was able to deliver a really great explanation as to what I thought was going on, why it was occurring for them, and what the plan was going forward. Now, this was all really new because for a lot of these patients, all they had experienced so far was basically going in, seeing someone, getting some treatment done, it hadn't quite worked, and not knowing where to go from there. So what we teach at MAT is often these objective assessments that we are so passionate about, the things that we love so much, yes, they're super important for us being able to deliver a better technical service. So being able to deliver better outcomes, really trying to understand what's going on with the patient or the client, and being able to actually deliver a great treatment or management plan. But the other thing that it's super important for is actually getting that patient buy-in and improving your patient compliance. Okay, because that's twofold. If we can't get good buy-in, good alliance with the patient, if we can't get them to really jump on board with the management plan, well, guess what? Probably a big part of their success is not going to occur, because at the end of the day, we're such a small part of it. Really, we're just managers and educators for a lot of people to try and help them get to where they need to be. They are the ones that need to be actively involved often, to be able to allow us to get to, or allow us to help them get where they want to be. So if they're not engaged in that plan as much as they need to be, well, then it's probably unlikely that they're going to get there in the first place. Okay, so that's number one. The other thing is, if you're not engaging your patients and clients, if they're not really bought into the process and they're not sticking to their management plan, well, you know what? That's going to affect us as well as a business. Okay, and that can be a really dirty word in healthcare and what we do. But at the end of the day, if we don't have great businesses, if we're not able to help lots of people, then we're not going to really achieve why most of us as health and fitness professionals got into the health and fitness realm in the first place, which is because we wanted to help people, right? So having a great, healthy business full of patients and clients that are really bought into the process, are really motivated and excited, they're going to be referring their friends down because they love the results they're getting for you. That's going to mean that you're going to be able to help more people which is often the main reason why we're doing this in the first place, okay? So as a general rule, one of the things that we recommend is, particularly often with a lot of your initial consultations with the people that you would see straight up, what we want to do is we want to try and find, I guess, an assessment, try to find something that we can do here to really make it super tangible for that individual what's going on. And that's the WOW assessment. So usually it's an objective assessment, particularly an assessment where you can compare from side to side is often the best, right? So whether that be maybe some type of range of motion assessment. So some examples that we use on the mat are things like our weight-bearing lunge test. Maybe it's a star excursion balance test. Maybe it's some of our spinal range of motion testing. Maybe it's an upper quarter wide balance test, anything like that, right? What we can often then demonstrate is, say, on the left side, you're scoring 60, and on the right side, you're scoring 45 or something like that, right? So rather than the patient or the client, kind of having an awareness of maybe a limitation or a discrepancy from side to side, you're showing them, right? And it's physically very easy for them to understand and very easy for them to see. So some of those range of motion assessments are really, really useful in that respect. Otherwise, different forms of strength testing is often really useful too, because often what we find is so many people have wild deficiencies or wild discrepancies in terms of their strength, particularly if they've had a condition for a period of time. Often those compensations and the way in which they move will really maintain that. So you might find, for example, on a single leg sit to stand test or something like that, someone can do 20 on one side and they can do 3 on the other, right? A massive wow moment, because often these patients and clients, they kind of had an inkling that there might have been something there, but then they physically see it by being guided through that assessment process. That might be one example. Or for example, we use the AXIT system, another product that we've developed and created to help individuals be able to assess strength better. So that can allow us then to really measure, I guess, differences in maximal strength and maximal rate of force development that once again can be a real wow moment for a lot of individuals. So pick your test based upon something, and use your experience here as well, but usually it's something that relates to that area. And what you want to do is try and really identify differences from side to side so that that patient or client can really see, okay, there is clearly a big issue here, and I really, really understand that I need to address that, and that really helps gain that buy-in there for whatever the plan is in place that you have to be able to help that individual. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave you here. I'm here in the mat lab, ready for another big day of looking after of clients as well. Looking forward to getting stuck in and using my WOW assessments to help engage my clients a bit better, really help push them forward to get some awesome results. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week.